Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
I'm Zaza Giorday, and welcome to the show. I am super excited to have with us today Ilka Chavez. Oh, Ilka, I don't know where to start to introduce you. You have such a rich professional background, and I know your specialty is leadership. Yes. It's also a lot about living your legacy, and this is what we're going to talk about today. And I like what you said when we just chatted before we turned on the button here, that it's about flipping the scripts, and that no matter how tough things can get, and they can get very tough, and a lot of us feminine influencers have had really rough times. That's why we are where we are today, right? Mm-hmm. And there is a way to flip the scripts. I really like that. So will you tell us a little bit about yourself, your beautiful self, and what is it in your journey that got you where you are today?
Well, good morning. Good morning, 5 a.m. in Virginia.
Yeah, good morning. Very courageous, I have to say.
That's right. And that's where we start off with feminine influencers. We are courageous, and we do have indomitable spirit. And that's one of the things we learn. So I want to say thank you, Zaza, from the bottom of my heart, for honoring me and welcoming me into your community, for taking time out to interview me. I thank God for the blessings you bestowed upon us and for allowing me to do this interview with you. As many of you heard, my name is Ilka Chavez, and I'm the president of Corporate Gold. It's an organization that helps leaders grow, and leaders at all levels, not just leaders at the top, because yes, even though you might be at the top, there's still room to grow. We never stop growing. I must tell you a quick little story. I went to a 100th birthday party, and the woman at the party, the celebrant, she said, "You never stop growing. You will always have seasons in your life. It's just like you have winter, spring, summer, and fall. You have to prune, the leaves will fall off. You have to let that sit for a while, and then you grow new branches." And that is what I'm on a task. And that's the legacy I want to leave, is to have everyone see. It doesn't matter if you're president of a country, if you're president of an organization, or if you're president of your high school student association. It doesn't matter where you are. Even if you're the treasurer in the student organization, you are a leader.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. Thank you, Ilka, for being with us today. It's a nugget to have you across the Atlantic Ocean and just say, yeah, my feminine influencer. So tell me a little bit more about who you help, Ilka. Who resonate with you? What, how does it work?
Well, the way it works is I'm attracted to those who have been carrying the burden, who constantly drive through or ride their train is what I use. I use the train, I use the plane, I use different modes of transportation, but you're going along, and as you go along, you pick up passengers, you pick up baggage. And we never stop to say, wow, I need to release myself of that baggage. I need to stop and look. It's those who have a vision, those who have a mission. That's everyone. But my core group are those leaders, or those people at the top who are carrying the burden, who are charged with carrying a vision and getting thousands of people to jump on the bandwagon to say, this is the vision. How do we get on board? How do I communicate that? That's one of the biggest struggles and frustration that leaders face, is how do I get my tribe on board? And I am working on writing a book, What Do Leaders Say and Do? How to Inspire Your Tribe. And that came from realizing that, yes, you Zaza, how do you get your tribe on board? Sometimes you jump. but how do you keep them on board? And those who you're not able to keep on board, how do you gently tell them, this is your style? How do you help them to continue to grow, whether the path is off of your train, it's in a different path, because we will have detours as we move towards our destiny. That's one of my core groups. It's also one of the folks that I'm looking to reach are those who struggle with accountability. How do we do self-discipline? How are we accountable to ourselves?
Interesting. Yeah, because how can you ask others, how can you lead others if you're not accountable to yourself first?
Exactly. How are you accountable to yourself as a leader? Are you accomplishing the big things? Or are you so caught up in the little things that the big things are not getting done? Are you establishing sustainable systems? We're not as leaders, we don't take care of ourselves. We're not taking care to ensure that our systems are stable and that we have those systems to continue that train and that mode of transportation moving. It's just like a car. I talk about that all the time. It's if you don't take it for oil change, if you don't take it for a checkup, do you think your car will last 14 years later?
No, it won't. I know for sure. It's happened to me.
But I have to give honor to my husband who, because he has a car that he's had for 14 years. It's not in the best condition outside, but it runs like a baby.
Well.
It runs like a baby because you did the oil change, you did the checkup, you did the pause. I myself as a leader did not do the pause, but I learned. And now I know how to inspire my tribe. Everybody saying, oh, Ilka, I've always admired you. But it's accountability was one of the big things. The other group I'm looking for is how do you align? So many are struggling with aligning with their tribe. How do you get your tribe to align? How do you get them to see? Yes, they can't see it. It's almost like I always bring in biblical things. It's that faith. It's that faith that, yes, I'm telling you, there is a ship out there that's going to really rescue us, even though we're on this island by ourselves. Let's believe and let's get on board and say, you see that little light at the end? That's a ship coming to rescue us. How do we keep people inspired in that manner? Those are the people that I'm targeting because they do get exhausted. They do not pause. And my goal is to really get them to pause and say, what can I do? Because as leaders, there's always change management issues. That's one of the other things. How do we handle this constant change? For me, working in the government for 22 years, the government in the U.S., have I experienced change?
Change for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Have I experienced change? And that's another piece. I'm looking for those who have a hard time working through the changes, working through all the change in administration. We just voted a new president, but I've been through so many that it's okay because you learn how to ride the waves. Yeah. You learn to understand what's their vision, what's their core purpose for being in this position. And you find the pieces that align. Then my job as a leader is to get everyone else in the tribe aligned, have them find the leadership, turn off the negative voices and the tones.
Right.
And understanding that change is inevitable, it's going to happen. But what are you going to do from where you are? And I ask that question to every single person in the line, in the chain. Every single person.
Yeah, I love it. I love the way you sing. Yeah, every single person counts. And it sounds to me like it starts a lot with you. As a leader, it starts with you first. What are you doing to be aligned? What are you doing to be accountable? What are you doing to walk your talk before inspiring others?
And that's about that legacy that you talked about. It's what do I want them to get? I want them to walk in their passion. I want them to walk in their purpose. And if leaders start to look at that and not box themselves in, remove those barriers. Remove those walls and approach yourself as you want your team to approach you. And that's some of the secrets that I help uncover for leaders on how to really sustain themselves, even with fear of failure. Because that's one of the big things. We fear failure. We forget about our personal growth. We forget about simple things as exercising. We forget about gratitude. Who takes care of that?
Yeah, for sure.
Who takes care of potting that plant? I'm looking at your beautiful flowers, and I have a purple, which we match.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't planned, guys and ladies. It wasn't planned, but
We're so aligned, and this is exactly what it's all about: is being present in the moment. As leaders, we need to stop looking back. I'm talking to you, leaders, to you. There's no need to keep looking back. It's always starting from where you're at and moving forward. And I'm here to help. I'm here to serve all of those leaders. I'm here to grow the new leaders who are coming in. I have a 26-year-old and a 20-year-old. And this is my why of why I'm doing this. This is my why of walking in my purpose. Because as I walk in my purpose, they also are inspired. And you will check my post out, what my daughter wrote. And that was one of the most humbling things for me. That charged me up to wake up every morning and say, wow, for what I'm doing, this is allowing her, this is growing leaders. And I'm starting at home.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready to go to countries. I'm ready to go to worlds to start that.
You're ready to conquer planet now, Ilka. That's wonderful. So tell me a bit about how you help your leaders, how you help your people. How do you do it? What kind of these different things that they're facing, maybe some of them they're not totally aware of, that they're not taking care of themselves enough. And how do you do this? How do you approach this?
So one of my approaches, I always ask people, first of all, I want to start off, who are you? Who am I? Who am I, and what am I here to do? I ask them, if you know your purpose, are you walking in your purpose? That usually takes a few weeks for us to get through.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they really haven't stopped to think. I have had a few clients who are walking in their purpose. Some of them have said, I've never thought about that. You're 50 and you've never thought about that. Wow. It goes back to sometimes living a lie is what I call it. You're living the legacy that your parents left for you. And what I see that's a legacy. It's basically a foundation. The foundation that your parents gave you is really to keep your house stabilized. The building of the rest of your homes, the first floor and second floor, that is for you to develop based on your purpose. So that foundation is what I consider your values. So that's another area, is what I get people, and I talk to people, I really dig deep and ask them, what are your values? What really keeps you going?
Absolutely. I'm so convinced that value-based living is the only way that really is, aligned with who we are at the core. There is no other way. Otherwise, it's just fake. Otherwise, it's so important. And values.
And that is exactly right. That is exactly what the methods I use tap into. Are you working with your values? People forget, and we're all humans. We will make mistakes. We will fall asleep. I've had a communication coach who called people like that, including me, the walking dead. Are we walking dead for decades?
Yeah.
And when you stop and you pause and you think about, what are your values? I will share mine with you right now. And although I may have been a walking dead, I'm a wide awake, as you can see now. I'm
Yeah.
I'm well and alive. I look back and no matter what was happening, I still walked in my values, which are respect, it's integrity, it's generosity, it's humility, it's trust. And the last, I added an S to my right leadership model, which is servitude. And those are the things that I follow. And no matter what was happening, I looked back, and although I feared failure, although I thought I was a failure, I was not, because I kept that throughout. I tell a story about leadership is no matter if the people pick up the trash in our office, I tell them what we do. Some of them speak Spanish, and as you know, I'm fluent in Spanish.
Absolutely.
So I can also help Spanish leaders. I tell them what I'm doing. I said, hey, I'm going on this trip to do this talk, or I'm working on this, and I get them involved in what I'm working on. The power of that, I cannot tell you how much it has impacted even the people, because they are part of your team.
Absolutely.
If your office is not clean, how are you going to get your work done well?
Yeah.
So taking time out to spend even a minute of your day to say good morning, to tell them what you're doing, then guess what? They start becoming curious. And then they now are on board on my bus, because when I come back or next day, they will say, how did you make out in that project? Miss Ilka, you never get up from your desk. You're always busy working. But now I know why. And I connect the dots for them. That's another key strategy and a tool that I use that's very important, is connecting the dots for leaders as I work with them. So it's connecting the dot that's, yes, even that person that might be picking the trash up, they are part of your team. Absolutely. Anybody that is in your space, that is in your circle, is part of your team. Absolutely. And that's how you treat everyone, no matter if they are your friends on Facebook, whether they're your family member, whether they're in your community, whether they're in your little association that you may be part of. Everybody there is part of your group. Everybody there is leading some charge.
And everybody counts. Everybody counts. As a human, they all have the same value. So they count the same. It's not, you don't count less because you're cleaning my office. No, you count just as much.
Absolutely.
That's so key. And I think it starts right there, definitely. And for us feminine influencers, all of us, we have this calling, this mission that we want to accomplish, and it's so key that like you say, for me, it's like a circle. Everybody's included, and everyone has the same value, regardless. Even people that don't join you on the bandwagon, even those that are not on your train, they have the same value. They just go on another train, fine, it's okay.
And they impacted you for the time they were in your organization. And Absolutely. that is another point of guidance and help that I work with leaders to help them see. You need to pause. Those retreats are key. Doing those off-site retreats are key, because it's stopping, looking back at the people that are in front of you, that are on your train, that are helping you get to your vision. Are they still on board? If they're not on board, do you ask them to gently, do you help them? Because it's not just asking them to leave and just throwing them out to fend for themselves. It's, as leaders, we help them see, this is where I'm going, and it doesn't look like you are going in the same direction that I'm going in.
Yeah.
So let's help you find something else. Yeah. And you do that gently. People resist that. They see that as negative. But it's about change. It's about everybody serves a purpose. We are all here just for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the shortest part of our journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, for me, it's got a lot to do with integrity, because if you are aligned with that word, with integrity, then you know that there is no point in trying to you're not going to pull somebody into your train if they're not the right fit. Then it's better for them to go somewhere else, and you can help them if you can. You show them the way, and that way they will continue to grow, and you're continuing on your path anyway. I totally agree with you. It's so important. And are there any myths around, leadership and growing into leadership or being aligned, the work that you do, is there, are there any sort of ideas that you come across that your clients have that are just not real?
There are so many, but I will.
Let's stick to the most important one.
There are so many, and I will start from the inside out. So the myths are, they are in a leadership position, but they're believing inside, I'm not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
They think I am not worthy. So they're having an internal fight with themselves as leaders, that here I am in charge of all of this and I'm not worthy. The second myth is that because I'm at the top, I am the only leader. And I help them peel back the onion and find the leadership skills in everyone that's in their chain of command. I have a really close mentor that he told me a story of one of his mentors went to the restroom and there was someone cleaning the bathrooms. And long story short, he basically asked him, he says, how can you do this job so happily? And he says, I lead this. I'm the leader of cleaning the bathrooms, and I'm going to do it as best as I can. It's like I always tell my team, if I'm going to be the shoe shine person, I'm going to be the best shoe shine person that there is. I'm going to find out the make, model of shoes that people are wearing, what position they have, and that's how I'm going to start working my way to the top. Start with their shoes and then get my foot in the door.
Absolutely. Well, actually, we have a friend of the family. He's passed away now, unfortunately, but he emigrated from Cuba, like a lot of his peers, to Miami, and he started shoe shining, and he ended up building a multinational in the sports equipment industry. But yeah, for sure.
So we're connected. You see, we're connected. I didn't even know that story. And
I haven't told anyone. It's the first time I talk about it. But it was a great example. I always like examples for us to look at of women. In this case, it was a man who have gone through hardships and who have turned it around, like you said earlier. Who managed to flip things around and just go and go for their goal and meet with their destiny. Because if we just stick around and sort of wait for things to fall into our lap, we know it's not going to work that way.
And that's what change is all about. I did a recent talk, and the title of that talk was Change is Transportation to Your Destiny.
I love it.
Yeah, change is transportation to your destiny. So helping the leaders really see that, seeing that that's what change management is all about. We don't have to be afraid for that.
Oh, but change is scary for a lot of people. So for example, it would change, being afraid of change, a reason why a person that would be, a perfect fit for you to help would decide not to go for your services, for example. Would that, fear of change, would that be a reason?
That is exactly right. That is fear of change, not being aware of where they are currently, wearing what I call the dark shades. So they're wearing sunshades and they need to take the sunshades off. It's also they're afraid of looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
They're afraid of looking in the mirror. That's another thing sometimes that I start off with my clients. I bring a little compact mirror and I said, this is your first gift. Get acquainted with that person.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the process of writing another book as well. It's called Anchor Management, My Journey to Releasing the Weight of the World.
Yeah, I love it.
I did not look in the mirror, and I literally have lost 45 pounds and still working on more. Yay!
Yay!
And it's who pauses, who hands you that mirror, and that is my passion. That is my goal, to help leaders, and they will turn and say, "She's not talking to me. I'm perfect. I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am the president of a country. How dare you, Ilka Chavez, tell me that I need help, that I need to grow?" Guess what? We grow all the time. We are trees.
Yes.
If we are strong rooted, you will be okay. But just embrace it. Know that there are people here who want to help you. People who are here who have the gift. It's a gift. It's a gift that God gave me. This is coming from a place deep in my heart. And I always tell you, I love Terry Levine's Heartrepreneur Group because it's really walking in purpose, walking in passion. I tell a lot of people that I went from pension to passion to purpose. So look out for my TED Talk on that.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait.
Help me get there.
But I agree with you. It's probably one of the pitfalls actually for upcoming leader and leaders in place is to stop trying to be perfect. I did a live the other day on stop perfect, be awesome, and a lot of us have this perfectionist syndrome, right? Which either keeps us from moving forward, or when we are in place, we think everything's got to be perfect all the time. And then we also, the risk for the leader is to become less, reachable. Can you say that? It's too distant, because who likes perfection? I mean, we all know nothing is perfect in this world. So then we can't relate anymore because they're like too polished. And instead of showing your vulnerability and showing that, hey, no, I still I have room for improvement as well. Even though I'm really good at what I'm doing now, where I am today, I can improve. That's fundamental.
And it's about growth, and I embrace growth. I embrace the journey, because we're all on a journey. We're all on a journey. And if we don't have people nurturing us, watering our plants or seeds, pruning us, that's what the changes is all about. That's what the failures are. Embrace them. Be thankful for the failures, because guess what? They make you stronger. I had a supervisor who says, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Yeah, I was going to say it too, and I thought, maybe it's a bit too strong to say here, but I've had this saying around for a long time, and I don't know if it's always, it doesn't always sound very positive, but the fact of the matter is, life challenges and hardships make you stronger, and there are gifts that you can take along with you on your path, and you can also give these gifts to others, for sure. So it's never a waste when you get it, when you get the lesson that is there to be learned. Then it becomes a gift for you and for others. So for sure, is there any other reason that or somebody who's looking at, let's say, who's a leader who wants to improve, or who wants to get better at accountability, who wants to embrace change in a easier way, are they things that they may do that would actually turn them away from what they want? What some pitfalls that maybe shiny object syndrome. I mean, some things that people do thinking that's going to do it for them, that's going to solve and give them a solution, and it's not.
I call those the distractions.
Yeah, the distractions.
It's the distractions, because they will keep you will get the shiny objects, and Terry Levine taught me, they're going to say, hey, look, I got $1 million for you, but they're not telling you what are the steps you have to go through to get the $1 million.
Yeah.
Or you move up. So some of the pitfalls is they've moved up so fast, but they never stop to look at what are the lessons they've learned in between. And by the time they get up there and they're looking for the lessons, they're saying, what did I learn?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not much. And I it's pretty scary, but there are people who are even 60 who are sitting back and saying, I didn't learn anything because they've been walking in this fog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the entitlement mentality that, I did this. Many people helped you along the way to do that. And as a leader, you cannot discount that. You have to stay grounded in that no matter what you did, you didn't do it alone.
Yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
raise my kids by myself. That's saying that it takes a village. It's real. Because as I look back, I had my mother-in-law come help me. I was always a working mom. I've always been career-oriented, but I had them come help me. My mother-in-law, my mom, my dad, they came and helped me raise my children so I could continue working. How could I forget that? That's back to, we talked about legacy. That is legacy. You don't step on people along the way to climb to the top. You bring them up. You help them along. They may not be on the same train with you, but help them out. And that's some of the pitfalls we fall into. We fall into the pitfalls, and leaders, yes, you leaders, you fall into the pitfalls of feeling, hey, I did this, I did that, so I'm entitled to this. The entitlement mentality, even especially for emerging leaders. For, we go through from baby boomers. We baby boomers will work real hard. They talk about the millennials now. The millennials feeling entitled. But I've got to tell you about those millennials. Some are feeling entitled, but they're charitable like nobody's business. They believe in giving. So what I have done is I've worked with millennials is help them find out, what do you want? Why do you want to give back? And when you start off leading them from that place, you see they grow. I smile because I even got a note yesterday from one of my I call everyone colleagues. I don't care if they reported to me. They're all my colleagues. And she wrote and she says, I miss you so much. You did so much for me. And I don't recall doing anything big for her. All I did was encourage her as she moved into government to really find that place of passion. Don't give up. Don't fall into the negativity. And leaders, yes, you need to do the same. Don't jump on the bandwagon. Stop being the yes people. Follow your values. Follow what legacy you want to live. Balance on those values. Balance on your integrity. Some of us, we give that up for the sake of money and for stature. I'm ready to hang. You got to hang those up and lead from that place. Yes, you can turn around, leaders. I'm speaking to you. Yes, you can turn around. There's still hope. I always said Ilka is always about hope.
But it is, and true. And I like the way you connect legacy to community, because it's not just one person, one legacy, and then the rest of the world is over there. It's. I really love that, and that just so ties in beautifully with feminine influencers movement, because it is about a community. So the people that can benefit from your insights and your gifts, how do you have a specific service that you offer them, a solution? How do you do you have, is it consulting? How do you work with these people?
So I do different types of consulting. I do coaching to leaderships and leaders. I help them also bring in their emerging leaders. So I help them set up programs for emerging leaders. I also help facilitate and guide them to development of offsites, because the offsite retreats also help them stop and pause and look at themselves and look at their organization. So my company is built around that holistic approach on what it's founded on. It's about growing leaders. So I cover all those prongs, from working individually with the leaders and coaching them and helping them discover who they are and helping them peel back at least one more layer, because everybody have layers to peel back.
For sure.
And help them, once they are settled, then I help them work through their organization. I'm currently helping someone that I've gone through that process. I've helped them, coaching them. I'm now helping them do their offsite retreat. I'm helping them develop an emerging leader program. And then they're slowly trying to get me to help their leaders, including their president. So that's one of the key things that I remind us, that from where you are, you're always managing up and you're always managing down. So those are some of the services I provide, and my website lists a few of those. I'm very open to trying new things as well. So I have been approached for new innovative services, and I'm giving those a try. So look out for more things to come.
Ah, wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, you're obviously open to change, Ilka. So that is great, because leadership can take so many faces and colors, and the needs can vary. So it's wonderful that you can cater to whatever comes your way. And that's a wonderful proof of your adaptability.
And the other big thing that I also do is I'm also a public speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an inspirational speaker, and I love talking to people about pretty much, I've had many life's experiences, so I accommodate many different speaking platforms. I love to inspire youth. I love to inspire leadership.
That's wonderful.
I also am very grounded on faith. So I also help leaders of faith institutions build their organizations. Where else do you really get to grow leaders? Because people will lose faith. So I believe that pastors and leaders of whatever Christian community you're part of, they have a really difficult job. And if you watch them, I've actually observed them in my business. I look at all leaders and see the struggles they go through with getting people on board to really stay on their mission when there are 8 people in their parish, and you're like, this church is never going to grow. But having faith that it will grow. Same as in organizations, people get hit with new legislation. How am I going to implement this with the current team? Do I have people in here that can help me implement this, or do I need to get new people? The solution is not always hiring new people. And I help leaders see that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, Lydia. Okay, it's wonderful. I think we have so much to talk about. We have to have more conversations. And I would love to know what you think of this image that I had the other day. I was thinking about the chrysalid, the way so many are in a chrysalid form, and the transformation is becoming the butterfly. And we're all, little pieces of the puzzles on the way. That's what I was imagining. I was thinking, well, that's what we feminine influencers are about, helping maybe just one step on the way, but it's an important step. And every stone on your path is important. Every pebble, every, square feet or square inch, square centimeters, meter, whatever, it doesn't matter. There is nothing that is unimportant. The weeds are important, the beautiful flowers are important, and it's I don't know what you thought of it. I think of it, this image of the chrysalid, but that's what I was thinking about.
It is beautiful because I am a lover of butterflies.
You are? Oh, how cool.
Of butterflies, and I almost wore my butterfly necklace today.
Oh, lovely.
So I have tons of butterflies, and I think I may have mentioned to you that I was an elected official on the school board in my local community, and that is one of the stories I brought every single time I spoke at the board meetings. I kept reminding folks that changed, but when the caterpillar thought the world was going to end, it became a butterfly. And then they say, well, butterflies die, but they're beautiful while they're here, and they brighten our day.
Yes, they do.
Really, it's just like what I consider it is like the wind beneath your wings. And if you think about it, that no matter how you feel it's going to be gloom and doom, there's always a little dust or a little wind that gets you up. So it's always about, if you fall, you get up. It's about everything is important. I am so into puzzles, I kid you not, because I will tell you a little story. I said to my son, he says, Mom, you inspire me every day. And I said, well, Mom is trying to get it together. And my 19-year-old, he's now 20, said to me, Mom, you already had the pieces of the puzzle in front of you. You're just putting it together now.
Yeah, so sweet.
Isn't that, and we talked about puzzles. So everything in your life, whether you're a leader, well, everybody's a leader, so you are a leader. Everything that crosses your path is important for your growth. And if you pause and you look back, you will see the value that every single thing you've gone through, everything that surrounds you, from the paper clip to the money, to the cars, to whatever it is that surrounds you, serves a purpose. And there's a lesson in everything that you have that surrounds you, that presents in front of you. And the key is to never ask, why me? Always ask, what do I have to learn? What do I need to do?
Oh, I love it. That was a wonderful, wonderful conclusion to this conversation. It's just perfect, Ilka. Thank you so much. And tell me, our viewers, our listeners, our community members, where should they go and find you?
They should find me at my company's name, which is Corporate Gold. My website is www.corporate, that's CORPORATE gold, that's GOLD.com. Again, that's www.corporate-gold.com. My email is Ilka, that's ILKA, at corporate-gold.com.
Love it. Thank you so much, Ilka, for being with us today at this wee hour of the day. And I know you're having a very, very important day today because you are launching a new book. And I'm so proud of you, and I wish you absolutely the best of success. Do you want to quickly mention the title of your book so our community can go and have a lookie?
That would be awesome. It's called Success University for Women in Business.
Is that perfect or what?
Success University for Women in Business, launching today, November 29, 2016. Look for my chapter. It's Leaving a Legacy. Wow, look at that. How do we close out so magically?
Yeah,
Leaving
perfect.
A legacy. And my chapter is on honoring values.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely perfect. Thank you, Ilka, for today. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Heart hugs to you.
Thank you. You too. Bye, love.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.